like right here and hope for the best. All right. Hello, my gorgeous party people. How are we doing? We are here. We have been brought together. Sorry, what's happening?
I just want to hear this.
Okay. We have been brought together to be able to do an incredible live today. And so I'm really excited about bringing you this live success story. We are going to have our gentleman come on to live. I will need you to bear with me momentarily while he comes in and we work out the tech, because we're going to do this as a video live where you can see me and hopefully you'll also be able to see him. So as soon as he comes in, we'll get that going. We've just sent him a message now to get that started, but please do bear with us for the first few couple of minutes while we get that going.
Okay, let's see. He's like, he's not the best of this, so we're going to sing.
All right. So just have him come in and just have him, you know, acknowledge himself kind of thing.
My other girl's trying to join too.
Good.
Yeah.
And I just want to clarify before we begin that this is Mom's Client Success. As you know, in case you don't, you're about to find out.
I hate to brag.
Me and my mom, me and my family in general, we have a very competitive nature of who can facilitate the best success. So she'll always tease me of like, I'm going to get the better success and I'm taking you down type of thing. And I'll one-up you. Yeah, I'll one up you. And I do the same back. And it's just kind of like a fun little dynamic in the family. Did he receive a request?
He's sending me a message right now.
Ask him to try to type.
Okay.
What icon do I push to join?
What is, okay, so.
I have not received my request.
Let's see. Sorry, guys. We are just working out the technical things. Been saying for years, I need to join one of your sessions as soon as I have the extra money. Well, listen, girl.
Oh, nice.
I can't wait. If it's been years, though, are you putting things aside? Are you making it happen?
Did you just say years?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Have you helped hedge fund traders? Yeah, we have helped a lot of traders.
That's the last one I was working with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, we're just trying to get our gentleman's like situation. If not, we can always try.
Just want to try to call him or not really?
I'm trying to see. He's not replying yet.
Right.
I am of mixed background. So, anyway, let me give you a little bit of an intro while he works out the technical glitches. And so this is a gentleman that's worked with my mother for a while. He came in actually desiring to be able to attract in love. And in the process of attracting in love, what ended up occurring is he ended up being in a situation where he ended up attracting someone 10 times better than he could have ever possibly fathomed.
Was she trying to join?
Yeah.
Nice. That's so exciting.
Just found out my 8-figure trader in my office has a personal hypnotist coach. Yes, a lot of them do. Emma's here. Hi, Emma.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of Mom's clients are showing up and showing out.
Hi,
and
Emma.
I put it on my stories as well. Perfect. I can see that you're here. It'll give you an option for video, or you can just probably start to speak and we'll see if that works, because you clearly accepted the request. So, and then also you can chat back and forth with Mom, because I know you can hear me right now. So anyway, he attracted an incredible partner who's like
so
absolutely
much better.
incredible.
Treating him like a king.
truly, we work with a lot of gentlemen behind the scenes. They're not as vocal as the women, but they produce some of the big results. Thank you so much. Because they're just like, I don't know, I just feel like the men, it's not that the women aren't, but the men are very methodical. And the men very much like when you give them a process, when you give them a system, they're just like, yeah, I'm on it. You know what I mean? Let's see. I'm only getting audio. Can you speak though? Can you speak for us now on the audio to make sure that it's working? Are you able to do that? Because we can't hear you just quite yet, but it's clear. It looks like your microphone is off in the bottom right corner. Maybe if you're able to unmute yourself. Just briefly.
Oh, there
There it is. Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, hello.
Hello.
So yeah, I'm not sure why I'm not getting video at this point.
So basically, when I click on your profile, it says can't turn on camera because you don't have access to join with video. I'm not sure what that means. And is there an option similar to the microphone button where there was a camera button that you're able to press?
Negative. No.
All right. Well, I mean, at least we have the audio, at least for time being, and we can always do it again, maybe on
Right.
Zoom or something like that, where it's a little bit easier to post. But at least for the time being, we can get this going.
I'm so happy
Okay.
you're here.
Yeah.
Yes, we will work through the technology part. I'll get it onto my laptop. Right now, I'm using my phone.
Okay.
That's fine. That's
okay.
fine.
Yeah.
All right, my love. Well, listen, I did a little bit of an introduction for you. Mom is obviously here. You can hear her. And hopefully you guys down below, just let me know, can you hear him properly? And we're just going to honestly jump right into it. So I did a little bit of an intro, but I would love to kind of start things off by you actually painting a picture of a little bit about your background, whatever you feel comfortable sharing. And then a little bit like just, like kind of like where you started. And then I guess we'll move from there. Why don't we just start with that first before getting too complicated?
Okay. So I first of all, I found you on TikTok. You presented yourself in a manner that was appealing to me. So what I did is I joined the master equation.
Yes.
And I went through that and I was very involved with that. And then I wanted to do the texting and the one-on-one coaching with your mom.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to say this on here and hopefully I'll reiterate it on our next live. I was very apprehensive to spend that kind of money on because I don't usually spend that kind of money on myself.
Right.
Okay. I'll spend it on you, but I won't spend it on me. So, I made the leap. And just so that you know,
leaping. Look at that. But continue.
I just so that you know, I know Kim knows, I started this in August and, we got busy right away. That's pretty much all I did last summer. And when I met you guys, you could see all the work that yes, just so you guys know, I flew to Florida to meet my coaches. Okay.
Yeah.
And I kind of tear up by that.
No, it's we love you so much. It's so incredible. We have a photo of you literally on our fridge with like all of our family photos. So you're very much a part of the family, and we're glowing for you. You know what I mean? Like when he came out to Florida to meet us, we were very honored because we were going to be running a live in-person event last year. Around my birthday time as, a little bit of a birthday gift to me to organize a meetup. And I was going to turn it into a whole teaching event. And it was like, come down. It was literally like a $99 ticket to gain access to the event. Super cheap, super affordable. We had the hookup on the hotel for it, for as many people to just come out. for as many people to just come out. And unfortunately, you know, we got hit with a hurricane and different things just ended up occurring where it didn't end up possible. And the whole thing ended up getting canceled. And in that process, you know, he was the only one that we still ended up, like, he still ended up coming out.
And still my mother girl.
Yeah, and one more girl. And we ended up meeting, you know, him. And it was one of the coolest, best experiences, like, possible.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he came out to meet us. I got to really learn about him and his background, which is astounding from where he was to where he is now. And he has earned every ounce of success that he has gotten through utilizing these principles that I teach, but honestly, that Coach Kim has led him through privately in one-on-one. So, yeah, I mean, we're so happy for that.
I'm, you know, I'm very emotional right now because of how happy I am. Okay, so quickly on my quick background, you know, I've had failed relationships after failed relationships after failed relationships. I just felt unworthy, unchosen, not validated, not prioritized. And you know, I'm going to be really honest with both you guys and your live feed. There was a point when I came back from Florida that I was going to give up. Okay. And the reason I say that is because I'm not alone there. There's a lot of people that here's what I noticed, and I talked with Kim about this. I had just so much resistance when I came into this program. You know, I just kept getting kicked down and kicked down, and you know, I just felt the unworthiness was going to overwhelm me. But I persisted, and you know, Kim walked me through some difficult moments, difficult times where I was really at one point gonna give up. I'm like, you know, I'm spending all this money. This isn't working. I'm not going to get her back. But the long and short of it is I kept going. I stayed involved. I'm going to tell myself I'm not the most consistent gentleman that you probably have. You know, I do really well for a while and then I fall off and then I get back. And so I've been a little inconsistent. However, that being said, I just continue to press forward and take her guidance.
Yeah.
And it's working. And it's working. And the reason I bring this up is I'm 8 months into this program. I had so much resistance that you know, I just couldn't seem to get the old story to be gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know, why do I always get treated this way? What am I doing wrong? Why am I not worthy of? And that old story hung on for 7 months, at least 7 months. So do we want to go to the success part?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely want to go to the success part. I will say, before we go to the success part for 2 seconds, I love the picture that you painted and everything like that, because I want people to understand, you know, you have truly overcome a lot. And I'm talking about even before us, like where you originally started to where you are now with your success and your position. Yeah, sorry, mom's raising her hand.
I want to say a good thing that my guy brings up. I'm using the word my guy.
Yeah, yours.
That like
not mine. And not mine.
My guy. You heard
her guy.
Me?
Not my guy.
You heard me?
Her guy. That's fine.
That it took him 7 months, but he didn't give up. And
right.
That goes to show that old story was just trying to sabotage, and we were talking and chatting, but he wanted to give up, but he never gave up.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong in if it takes you 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, like our other girl, 1 year.
Yeah.
You still hung on, and now after 2 weeks of meeting her, now that it's clicked, now he's getting all those treatments that he deserves from that girl.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I want to add to that, sorry, did you want to go first and then I'll go?
I'm going to reiterate what Kim's talking about.
Yeah.
You know, some people don't have as much resistance, okay? And so things come to them quicker. You know, and so I think what I'm trying to get at is just because it doesn't seem like it's working behind the scenes and we don't realize that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Things have to line up. You know, if I wasn't emotionally as stable as I am now, I wouldn't have the success that I've had in the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
100%. It's a complete byproduct of your nervous system being re-regulated. But to even speak and add one more point to this is being in this situation, you know, yes, you've had a lot of resistance, but a lot of the resistance came from in those primal moments when the 3D was showing you the opposite. You know, there was a part of you that was like trying to stay the new path, but then there was that gnawing part of your subconscious that was still going back to that old story of like, what's making me so unworthy? Why is it that I can't really have this? And that's what kind of kept you looped into a pattern that you weren't able to get out of, because it was such a tangible thing when you were getting rejected or when you were getting not chosen or when things weren't working out in love the way that you wanted to, that it was almost like, I use the analogy of like a dog chasing its tail, where it's like it's just going in a circle, but it's not actually like breaking out of the pattern and going forward. And it's not to say that there's anything wrong with you, but it's to say that sometimes the subconscious takes time to peel back each layer. And sometimes when things feel very raw and they feel very real, we have two options in a subconscious way to go. We have the way to go down, you know, questioning and doubting, which it's nothing to say that you did anything wrong. That's just a normal human brain. That's the very primal instinct of what happened in that moment. And the other path that you go down is maybe there's a part of you that, you know, questions and wonders why this occurs, but then there's also an equal part of you that understands that some of this is coming up to come out. And I'm not going back into that old story, and I'm not going back into that test from the universe. And you know what? Whatever this is showing me, it's just teaching me what I need to double down on. It's teaching me what I need to spend more time, energy, and effort towards. And it is kind of coming up to come out. So I'm going to allow it to come up and to come out. And, you know, I'm just really excited and happy for you for, you know, also being honest with yourself. You know, there was a part of you that just had the resistance where it took longer. And absolutely, many people who see the results happen so fast, it's almost like the curse of fast results here, that then other people shame themselves for not hitting that impossible standard. And you had every ability in those moments to be able to compare yourself to others and give up. And I would almost rather you, like how you admitted, like there were times where you were a little inconsistent. I would almost rather you kind of fall down and get back up than to have thrown the whole thing kind of away in general. Because what I truly believe is, regardless of whether we get it with one person or another, no matter what, the pattern has to be broken. No matter what, something has to be fundamentally changed and rewired in this situation. And so I'm proud of you, Mom's proud of you, you know, we're all proud of you for being able to move through that. But yeah, let's move into the success, because honestly, it didn't take long once we pivoted our course. And Mom said it took about 2 weeks, but talk us through a little bit of that process and what were some of the big moments after you made that shift.
I'm going to back up just a second, Persis. Here's, and because I'm reading some of the live feeds that you're getting here. You know, the mirror work is awkward.
It is awkward.
It's very awkward, but it's necessary. Because, and the reason I say that is we truly need to look at ourselves and say, I love you, you're worth this. It was very awkward for me to do that, but I was very consistent with that. One thing that I have been consistent is I listen to subliminals every night. I think subliminals are really important. I'm just throwing that out there because you know what might work better for some might not work good for others. You know, the EFT tapping, I'm thinking to myself, oh, well, this is stupid. What is this going to do? Okay. And I'm being honest. It works. It just works. It helps regulate, because, you know, when we're first starting this, our nervous system is a mess. And, So, I did the EFT tapping, and, I really enjoy that. I actually have my roommate doing it on occasions
I love
because,
it.
I don't know how it works, but it works. Okay. And so the reason I bring that up is some of these tools that you guys give us is very awkward to begin with. Okay. It's just very awkward, but there's a reason that you're teaching us these things
Yeah.
is because they work. You have success.
Powerful reprogrammers of the brain,
Correct.
powerful reprogrammers of the brain. Yes.
Right. Okay. So let's go to the success. Okay. So this amazing woman that I have in my life, I've known her for about 2.5, 3 years. The timing was off. Okay. She was having some health issues. I was coming out of a failed marriage. Things, and then I started dating another female that I thought was the one, and I've come to find out I was not. So this has been about 2.5 years in the making. I ran into her at church about 2 weeks ago, and it's just been absolutely amazing. And I told your mom this yesterday. There's not a night that doesn't go by that she doesn't call me before I'm going to bed. We talk at least once or twice on the phone every day. I got to see her yesterday at church because it's Good Friday. She treats me like I deserve to be treated, and I'm in awe of it. Okay, I'm in awe of it because just because you know what, the timing wasn't right before, but the time is right now. Even though she's got a lot of things going on in her life, and like I told your mom last night, there's something that I'm learning here because I've changed my pattern. I'm not so needy. Okay. Okay, so I'm not needing the validation. I appreciate the validation because when she does contact me, it's validating. Okay. And just when we see each other, we're both beaming. Okay. It's just really amazing. Yes, it's truly amazing. It's
Can I
nice.
just chime in for 2 seconds? Just 2
Yes.
seconds.
Yes.
So I want to ask you a question, but it's also a pro tip, for anybody listening on the live that yes, Aaron went from being in situations where he was getting rejected and not chosen, just to paint a quick picture, to now he's being treated quite literally like, a king. He's being sought after. He's being pursued. He's getting equal effort being put in by the woman. The woman has no problem showcasing her love and appreciation and care. She also reciprocates, you know what I mean? Versus before, it was not like this at all. Now, one thing you said that was very interesting, which is where I was leading my point into. It is very validating to get validation. However, who's to say that every ounce of effort you've put in up and until this point wasn't to lead to this threshold? And then why do we do these techniques? Why do we re-regulate and rewire the brain? To be able to get the validation to then keep the cycle going. So this is what I always tell my clients. We do the work to get the movement. When we get the movement, we then validate the movement to get more of it. So there isn't a single time that goes by where once the movement starts to come in, people can even fall into scarcity patterns, and they can say, because my people are so high achievers.
Well, he was saying that before he would be so needy, if no one would respond, then the story is, I'm not good enough, I'm not chosen. Then we start to go down that spiral,
Right. And so in this situation, when the 3D starts to move, my people being such high achievers and mom's people having such high expectations for themselves, because we tend to attract a lot of perfectionists and people who have suffered from feeling not good enough despite being like incredible, you know what I mean? That one of two things tends to happen is then they just compare it to the end outcome. Like, oh, this is nice, but it's not the big thing. It's not the big thing that I'm
We're
after.
not showing gratitude for what we're getting.
And then that ends up actually removing some of the movement that was even occurring. And then the other path, which is what I ask them to take and I try to get them to take, is once we get the movement, you use the movement to say, it's working, it's happening, it's moving, it's shifting, more please. You know what I mean? To be able to continue to get it to momentum. Because oftentimes people have such high expectations for themselves that I'll give you an example. Let's say you are doing the work and you get a text message, but you're like, now you're analyzing the text message. And now you're kind of like looking into maybe what's wrong or what's missing, or you get a text, but you're like, I really wanted a date. And do you see where sometimes, even when you're doing all this work to get movement, people can still sometimes have almost like a critical eye of the movement. That's where I was going to with a little bit of a teaching point there, versus validation is validating, and you have earned every ounce of validation that you're getting. And a wonderful way that I teach my clients, and we kind of promote to people, is even sometimes when you get movement, you can still sometimes feel like it's not enough. And that goes to show whether your brain is still in scarcity or whether it's in overflow and abundance, and you have fully had a shift. Because sometimes you can realize where your energy leaks back into needing or desiring or wanting more, because the thing is, you're always going to get more when you're in that state of appreciation. But if what you get is never enough for you and it's never satisfying you, well, then you're not actually healing the core root issue, and then that issue perpetuates, and then whatever you get, that's when we see people starting to move into a little bit of lesser than, and then loss, and then the pattern repeating itself. But anyway, that was just my little spiel that I wanted to go into for a couple seconds, because it's really easy to get the momentum, to keep momentuming, if you can be aware in those moments, because sometimes people are even confused of like, I did it, but then they move into the criticism and then they wonder why it left, and sometimes they're not able to see it in that moment.
Okay, Persis. So I'm going to give you an example because I don't know if Mom told you this. Okay. I'm gonna give you an example of what you were just talking about. So I believe it was Wednesday. I sent her a Facebook post, and I didn't hear anything from her for like hours. And I'm like, well, what's going? My mind automatically went to, what did I do wrong? Was it okay? So, but I counter affirm that. And the lawyer technique for me is amazing. That works.
I love the lawyer technique.
The lawyer technique.
Don't give them too much, but yeah, I love the lawyer technique. Oh, continue.
The lawyer technique works very well for me. Like, you know what? I that's not true. I didn't do anything wrong. She's just busy. We'll come to find out, yeah, she was busy because she was in the hospital. Okay. So when I got that text message, I was like, oh wow, okay. Well, there was a sense of relief, and I knew that the lawyer technique had worked. Okay. Well, long and short of it, that was our first date, because I ended up going down to the hospital and being with her. Okay. And so the long and short of that is I was actually able to give her the flowers that I wanted to give her, that I had from 3 days ago. Okay. She absolutely loves them. I paid attention because they were both her favorite colors. And she mentioned the flowers like 4 times already, and how much she appreciated me being there for her. But what I'm getting at is my first thought is, oh my gosh, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Because I hadn't heard from her for hours.
So sneaky.
It is
sneaky. And you don't even realize it, but because we are gracious, not gracious, we are grateful to be one step removed. Sometimes the real key is having someone in your back pocket that is a step removed. You know what I mean? Because sometimes when you're so close to something, you can't really see it in that moment because you're so in the present moment, which is a good thing. But sometimes it can backfire and showcase where there's still a little bit of energetic leaks and cleanup that needs to happen. And so I love that you and Mom were able to kind of go into that, because the brain will always default to what has been dominant. We know that
Right.
for a fact. But this is
Correct.
about shifting the dominance into a direction that creates results passively, effortlessly, continuously, and in an ongoing manner. And that's really what you know, exemplify really well now that, of course, we're all a work in progress and we're continuing to expand and get better. But the worst of your days are far, far behind you. And now you're reaching into new thresholds and new heights. That is a result of the compilation of the body of work that you have put in to undo quite literally decades of unworthiness, rejection, feeling like a failure, and all these other really, really low vibrational energies. And even if you say it took 8 months to do that foundational work, then in 2 weeks, was it 2 weeks since that period of time, she ends up coming in, it's perfect, it's a match, everything is vibing, even though she has things in her life, like she is mirroring back to you every ounce of that work that we know was not in vain this whole time, even though we weren't seeing the movement, right?
Correct.
And now
Correct.
we're able to be in such like a thriving, happy, healthy situation. Like this is wonderful. She calls you, she's consistent, she's vocal, she's reciprocating, she's communicative. I mean, this is a very different situation that you have been in. Have you ever been in a relationship like this before, even though it is obviously still very fresh and very new?
I'm going to say there might have been one time that something similar, but I sabotaged it.
Yeah. And
Okay.
of course, the subconscious wasn't on board. You know, you probably thought it was too
Right.
good for you or something.
Correct. Correct. And there was a lot, but yes, but in a sense, I sabotaged it. Versus, I'm going to back up to when I first came to you guys real quick.
Tell us.
My self concept was in the crapper. Okay. It was in the crapper. I thought I was a 4.5, 5. I think I might have actually been lower than that.
Yeah.
And so when I started doing the work with you guys, my self concept shot up very quickly.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I wanted the results, not because I was doing it for me. Okay.
Oh, that's
And
a good
hear
point.
that.
That's
We
a
hear
good
that a
point.
lot.
I like the
it's,
way you're thinking.
you know what I mean? I was like, oh yeah, my self concept is just through the roof because I'm going to get the outcome that I desire.
Yep.
Well, you can't. How can I say this? You can't bullshit a bullshitter. I don't know how. Okay, I don't know how else to put it.
You call a spade a spade, you call a bullshitter a bullshitter. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like to keep it straight here.
So I think that's why that's. It's working out wonderfully. And the reason I bring that up is because I know I'm not the only one. I'm trying to get other people to understand. Work on you. Work on you.
From a
Okay.
sincere place, not just
Correct.
trying to get the outcome. And
Correct.
if I could even chime in for 2 seconds, what he's referring to is there are some people that come in, they want their desire, like they want the air in their lungs. And they see the results happening so big and so fast that they're like, I am hungry for these results.
I'm doing it for them. I'm doing it to get that, not for myself.
And here's where that can sometimes screw you over. It's not wrong to want results when you're coming in and you're investing in yourself and you're going for it. But if everything is just a conquest of how do I get this thing? How do I get this thing? How do I get this thing? First of all, that energy is not the energy of being the person who has the thing or is at least on the path towards the thing. It's kind of like you're looking at all the absence all the time, but then you're wondering why it's not there. It's like, how do I get it? 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 That's not the energy of the person that's getting it. You see what I mean? And this is like the sole focus that you have, and it's like right in front of your face. How do I get it? How do I get it super fast? That is the energy, whether we like it or whether we don't. I'm going to use the D word, which is desperate energy. It's the energy of trying to find some type of a quick fix. It's like going on one of those like juice fasts and dropping like 5 pounds in like 48 hours, but it's not permanent lasting results. I would rather you have a lifestyle change if we're going to use kind of like a fitness analogy. There's a difference between the people, because I see a comment here about 50 pounds down. is like there's a difference between having a being change, a lifestyle change, an identity change, and then you are the person who has lost the weight and kept it off versus someone who's chasing a quick fix. How do I just get it to go away super, super fast because I
Right.
hate it here so much?
Right.
That is the energy that's going to lead to delays, right? That's the energy that leads to delays because that's not the elevated mindset energy. That's not the elevated mindset energy of like, how do I just fix it? How do I just fix it? How do I just get rid of it? How do I just solve it? How do I just do it super, super, super fast? Like I had a person tell me once, well, I'm at rock bottom zero, but I just want to be a millionaire. And I don't have a problem with people coming to me with these big goals and telling me about that. But every part of her was wired against being a millionaire. You know what I mean? And so it's like sometimes the way that you set goals also matters, you know, but I'm kind of going off on a different tangent now and I could probably talk an hour about this. But yeah, I love that you brought that up because it is important to be able to really come into this ready to do the fundamental work to change the trajectory of your life. That should be the real goal. The real goal is I'm coming in here knowing that I have some shit inside, pardon my French, but that my goal is I'm going to be getting rid of it. Right? And I'm not going to be like, where is it? Where is it? How do I get it? How do I get it? How do I make it happen super, super fast? You know what I mean? It's not going to be that. It's going to be, I'm going to become obsessed with the process that creates outcomes, not the outcome itself.
Yep.
I can tell how fast someone's going to be successful in the first 2 minutes of talking to them based on how much obsession they have over the outcome. And here's the paradoxical thing that a lot of people that are in fight or flight and scarcity consciousness don't realize. The more desperate you are for the outcome, I guarantee you, you're probably one of those people that's stuck in the years category. And you're not going to get out until you have a consciousness shift. I love you so much. This is me trying to do you a solid as a PSA, but like it can't work that way. You have to become obsessed over the process that creates outcomes, not the outcome.
Yep.
The more obsessed you are with the outcome,
Yep.
the more I promise you.
Yep.
Promise you, I can write it down and sign it for you.
Me too.
Right.
It will be delayed like a mofo.
You'll be like,
You'll be waiting for years.
you know how we did that last week or the week before? You're like, oh, come back in 6 months.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that type of situation. But yeah,
Well,
please continue.
you are absolutely correct, and what that's exactly what happened for me is you know I was doing. I'm going to throw a little caveat in there for your people watching. I truly believe that everybody needs to go through the mastery equation first to get their feet wet, find out what's going on, find out what some of the triggers are, and then get into the coaching aspect of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not trying to sell anything there. I'm just trying to show everybody what worked for me. Okay. Because when I came and saw you guys, I had 3 binders full of work that I had done off the equation. Okay. Because I wanted the outcome more than I wanted the psychological change in me. Okay. But that shifted because I was doing the work. I was doing the mirror work, the EFT tapping, you know, the subliminals. You know, I'm gonna tell them I suck at the breath work. I'm horrible at it. So I'm terrible at it. So I'm going to give you an example. So this woman, I've texted her this morning. I have not heard back from her. Here's my example. My mind's going, oh, she's upset with me because we didn't talk last night before bed. I lawyer technique that. Okay. I lawyer technique that. You know what? Maybe she's not up yet. Maybe she's already busy packing because she's moving. And so what I'm getting at is the brain still tries to fight you and go towards the negative. I counter affirm that, like, you know what? No, this woman absolutely adores me. She's busy. She'll get to me. I don't have the neediness. Do I want to hear from her? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't need her to be, for me to be her sole focus. She's got other things going on. Okay. I need to be my sole focus.
Right.
Because without that, I'll never have the significant other.
Right.
Okay. And so that's why I was saying when I first started this program, the mastery equation really got me involved. I would come home from work and I would spend 2 to 3 hours going through there and writing notes. And then, I like it because you can go back and watch the video and read your notes at the same time. And maybe there's things that you missed. The mastery equation for the $100 a month is priceless. It's priceless because there's just so much in there that, and like I said, what I liked is you could go back and rewatch it and like, oh, that's that's
I'm
and
actually rerunning it. So this is ironic that, you are touting the equation so much, because I'm like, I have so many new people that aren't really aware of my process that creates the outcome. And so look at the synchronicity there. Because I'm going to be redoing it like fresh and new for everyone. And so, but yeah, what he's referring to, just to make sure everyone is aware, he is in personal, but he started in the $100 membership, which is the Manifestation Mastery membership, which has my process that he's referring to. And so that's what he's referring to. Obviously, the membership is worth its weight in gold. There's over like a dozen of my top performing programs in there, and there's new content that gets added all the time. And there's a monthly Q&A call every single month. And then after he did the equation, he got into personal coaching with Kim, my mother, which is linked also in the bio, where he got the option that had the unlimited. So he got the texting, and the texting is really helpful for the times where his brain goes outward. So there's two main things. There's texting, there's to text and to not to text, basically. So there's calls and then there's unlimited. And the unlimited is basically the one that has texting. Now, texting is really good for individuals that want to have almost like a best friend style of coaching, where anytime the 3Ds, anytime the 3D vomits on you, anytime the 3D reacts in some type of a negative way. Emma has also had the texting as well. And now she's casually dating Fortune 500 people.
And so does my girl Claire.
And so is Claire. A lot of people have the texting. The texting is really
She's
beneficial.
already up leveling in less than a week.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so, what I wanted to refer to is it's really nice to, in those moments, and maybe you could speak about that for a brief moment, of how beneficial the texting is when something negative comes up in the 3D and you want to be able to run it by someone so that you don't go down a rabbit hole that you don't want to be a part of. You know what I mean? To be able to have someone to interpret it and bounce it off of, to be able to get back on track. Like, can you speak to how the texting has helped you in any capacity in which, it might have?
Okay, so the best way I can explain this is, when we first get into this program, there's a lot of information and it can be a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
Okay. So to have that personal texting helps you walk through some of the questions, and it also helps you to know that somebody is trying to help you walk through this journey. There was when I first started texting with Kim, I was blowing her phone up because I was a mess. My self-concept was in the crapper, and I wanted her, and so she helped me walk through that. I think it's really important to have that connection with somebody on a constant basis that can answer the questions that we have while we're going through this process. I truly believe that the texting is vital to this program. I truly believe that, because without it, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Yeah.
Okay. And yes, we're being a little more consistent with the phone calls. We're going to try and do 2 a month. And, it was a big leap for me to do the King package. Okay. It really was. I get it, but you know what? I found out I'm worth it.
Yeah.
I found out that I'm worth spending the time and money on myself.
Yeah.
So that I can finally become the guy that she adores.
I love that. That makes me so happy because it's like, I really do want people to understand that even if you had to pay $2,000 to fundamentally rewire your brain in love and never do it, like never have to worry about this ever again, you would pay that over and over and over again. You know, a lot of times people will come in and be like, I don't know if I want to spend that. That's a lot of money. This is too much.
Right.
I tell people all the time, you don't have a money problem. You have a belief problem. Because you will spend the money when you believe that you can change. Like, I'll give you an example, and I know this is all about your life and your success, but I'll drop one of my money wins real quick, which is I had a girl come in and she had a real estate business. She was doing about 30 grand a month in her real estate business.
Are you talking about us?
I'm talking about C.
Okay, sorry.
I'm doing a money one right now. I'm talking about C. And so anyway, she was doing about 20 to 30 grand in her business in that situation. And in 30 days, she did 205 grand by doing this work. So she paid me approximately 4 grand to make 205 grand. Now imagine if somebody could pay you 4 grand and get almost $250,000. You'd find the money. The money would not be the issue. Even if you had to go knocking on doors, you would knock on the doors to be able to get that, because the value of losing that would be too big for you to bear. If you could pay 2 grand, 4 grand, even 5 grand, right? And if you were to be able to fundamentally shift your relationship patterns for the rest of your life, you would find the money.
Right.
If you were like, I never have to deal with this ever again, you would find it. But the reason that sometimes you don't feel like you're worth it, or it's too much money, or it's too big of an investment, is actually when you're in a situation where, guess what? You don't believe you can change. You don't believe the situation can change. Maybe you feel as if you're not going to be consistent yet. Maybe you know that if you spend the money, you know there's a chance that you'd still self-sabotage and go back into the old patterns. And so what's really disguising as a money issue in your brain is a belief issue. You just really don't believe that you can really fully show up for yourself. You can really fully let go of your crap, because you know if you pay the money and you do the stuff, it's game over. But there's a part of your brain that's fighting for that survival. That's fighting for that survival. And so that's really what's going on. But anyway, I love that you said that, because it is important to realize that a lot of times people don't want to invest that money because it's like, it's too much money. But the truth of the matter is, if you could pay someone 10 grand and make $250,000, you'd find 10 grand. This is never a money problem. This is I don't believe in me yet problem.
It's a new problem.
I don't believe I can let it go. I don't believe this can shift. I don't believe this can move. I probably would put in the work, but it still wouldn't work. It still wouldn't happen. This is really just a me problem disguised as that. You know what I mean? And that goes to show
That's a good way to look at it.
that goes to show how tricky the brain is, because the brain knows if you do this, it's game over. And so your brain's going to be like, alert, alert, this won't work for you. Alert, alert, danger. Alert, alert. No, we don't really have that kind of money. We don't really want to do that. But you know what I mean? And so it's kind of really funny to sometimes see how that happens. Like, I have a girl I'm working with that does 5 million a year. That's about 500 grand a month.
I'm not sure what happened, Persis.
All right, so sorry about that. Hopefully everybody can hear me again.
You're there.
I had a little pause in the live. I have a girl that casually does $500,000 months. Casual, super casual. You know, it's small money, but it's okay. It's all right, you know? And she was literally worried about a $4,000 investment because her mind was in scarcity. Her mind was in lack. She is somebody that is overqualified to pay that type of money. But it goes to show, whether you earn 30 grand a year, whether you earn 500,000 a month, or anywhere in between, scarcity is scarcity, and scarcity won't leave you until you get rid of it. You know what I mean? Until you rewire it out of your system. Because it was almost incredulous to me that someone that makes $500,000 a month was scared about a 4K payment. Because it's like, you make that in an hour. You know what I mean? It's so strange. It's so crazy. But anyway, I love this little bit of a tangent, and hopefully it's helpful to any individuals who need a little bit of a boost or a motivation. But yes, I love this. I love this so much. So I would love to even summarize super quickly, because I know we've been on here for a fat minute. Tell me a little bit about, if I was to just ask for a side-by-side comparison. So if I was to ask for like day one type of comparison, where what were the dominant experiences you had in love, as an example, not good enough, not chosen, whatever your list was. And if you were to compare now where this relationship is with, you know, you being smitten as a kitten, which I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed. Like the comparison, the stark contrast.
Well, you know, like I said before, you know, my self-concept was way lower than what I actually gauged it, because you know, it was
Maybe
another
people come to us
it
with,
was
like,
another
negative tens.
it was
You weren't
another
that bad.
it was way worse than what I anticipated.
Yeah.
Okay, then, you know, because maybe it wasn't an honest evaluation because I wanted the outcome.
Right.
Okay.
True.
So,
I love the self-awareness.
you know, I think that the biggest factor that I had was I was unworthy. Okay. And then, you know, I was never made a priority. I was always taken advantage of. Where I'm at today is totally the opposite. You know, my self-concept is up around a 9.5, probably close to a 10. You know, and my concept of desire is way high. Yes, we're just starting this journey, but I can already see that she is validating me. Our communication is open, honest, and transparent. She's not afraid to tell me what she likes, what she doesn't like, what she won't accept, and I don't take that personally. That's growth for me. That, I mean, if I want this to work, I have to have an open heart. I like what she does for me in the sense that she really appreciates everything that I do, and how I'm walking this walk today. And you know, the brain still fights me. It still does. The lawyer technique is for me is just.
How many
times has he said
This is just an advertisement for the lawyer technique.
The lawyer technique, you know,
Right.
and the reason I'm bringing it up again
Only
is
personal
because
clients will get that. So sorry, guys. I want to clarify now. That's a personal client thing. But yeah, I love it.
because the brain is still resisting, even when it's this good. The brain's still trying to, oh well, you pissed her off, or oh, you said something wrong, or oh, you're not worthy, and that's not true. So I counter affirm that. My self concept is rocking. It is absolutely rocking. And I owe all that to you guys. You know, I'm hoping to maybe come and see you guys again this year, because her and I are probably going to go on a cruise together.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, she's already talking about it. I didn't bring it up. She did.
Yeah, perfect. She's already
Right.
manifesting us meeting and coming together. You can just say that we're like, we're family. We're family.
Exactly.
We're family.
We're extended family.
We're extended family.
Versus, here's the thing. I'm not afraid to tell her what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, technically, you've literally just like healed your relationship patterns. It's not like you did anything weird. You know what I mean?
It's
Like, this
correct.
is just my coach for my mental health that helped me to heal the trauma from my past. Because really what we do is we help people heal their trauma and their patterns to be able to create the life of their dreams. So
Absolutely.
that's what we
Absolutely.
did. You know what I mean?
And here's the thing is, I've already brought it up, like, hey, you know, I really worked on myself last year. I did some personal coaching. I did actually go see my coaches. Okay. So, but I didn't get into the depth of everything that there's going to come a point in time where I get to do that.
Yeah,
We're like, hey, because I want to be open, honest, and transparent with her as well.
yeah,
Okay, but I have to do that slowly, progressively, if you will, in a loving manner.
Yeah.
of course.
I mean, I don't want to bombard her right away. I mean, we haven't even officially gone out on a date yet. I
We're
mean,
excited for it. Literally,
but-
he messaged mom after his call, and he's like, "I'm ready for a live." Like, you don't understand.
No, he told me this at school, huh?
That's what I said. Literally after the call, he was like, "I'm ready for a live." And so you guys are getting the opportunity to see it from the start and from the get-go of 14 days, Dream Woman.
Yeah.
14
Right,
days.
right.
And we're only going up from here. I love his transparency and his honesty and his self-awareness. You can tell this man has done a lot of work on himself because he's able to see, you know what, every now and then I'm a little bit inconsistent. He's able to
okay.
see, you know what, every now and then my brain still fights me a little
aware.
bit.
He's aware.
And he's aware of it. And awareness is the first step to truly having change. You know what I mean? And his work with Coach Kim has really allowed him to be able to see himself, see his sabotaging tendencies, see where he has held these stories and these trauma patterns and these relationship cycles that keep chasing him in a circle. And once that happens and once that cycle breaks and from any angle, any direction, that's what created the results so quickly. Is there still some work to do to be able to fully get it to set into this new pattern? Yes, but this is a 14-day fresh situation to motivate and inspire you of truly how fast change can occur when we get out of that cycle. It didn't take long. It didn't take long once he broke the cycle. Now it's kind of like when you break a bone, you have to set it in the right direction for it to heal. Right? That's what you do when you break a bone. I've never broken a bone before, but when you break a bone, you have to set it to make sure that it heals correctly. And so now he's going to be going through that process of setting that bone the way that it needs to be set with Coach Kim to be able to really ramp it up to the next level. And then what's going to happen is that's just going to be his natural way of thinking. That's just going to be his natural thought pattern. That's just going to be how his nervous system is. That's just going to be the default thought in his mind. And when that, pardon me, occurs, truly something life-changing and transformational will happen. Not that it hasn't already, but it's just going to keep going from good to better to best to astounding to awe-inspiring to awestruck to absolutely incredulous in each and every capacity. And I'm really excited to continue to see it unfold.
Persis, I'm going to say this to your audience.
Tell me.
Okay. We struggle with self-love, okay? And I think what I'm getting at is I took that leap of faith and said, you know what? I am worth this. I am valuable, but I just don't know how to get there.
Yeah.
And so, how do I say this? We have to find out that we're worth the time and money to have a successful life and get the things that have been eluding us all our lives because it's just I'm amazed by it. I know that I'm going to continue to keep working with you guys because my next step is money.
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot of resistance there, but there's some resistance there. But I know I'm worthy of attaining just abundance.
Yeah. I'm excited to see you balling.
Yeah, I know. So
Right.
This is going to be so great. This is going to be so great. Well, my love, is there any other last minute things you'd like to share as a piece of advice? Would you recommend Kim's coaching to anybody? Would you say that it was helpful?
Oh, absolutely. You can't put a price tag on it. You really cannot put a price tag on it because nowhere else are you going to get one-on-one coaching on a daily basis. You're just not.
Yeah.
It's priceless. I would not be where I'm at right now if I hadn't taken that jump and said, you know what, I want to do this. I want to change the trajectory of my life. And so the one-on-one coaching's, it's priceless. It's priceless. Whether it's love, money, health, jobs, all those things, because we have to change that self-concept.
Yeah.
And most of us struggle with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, my love, I appreciate you tremendously. Any other last minute things you would like to say before I let you go? I appreciate you so much. I know we've been on there for an hour. The people on the replay are going to have a fun time listening back to this.
Right.
But we can definitely redo this also at a later points in time as this continues to progress. And I'm really excited about that.
Right.
But yeah, anything else before I let you go, my love? I really appreciate your time and, your very kind words because, he's family. And
he's on the refrigerator.
You've literally made the fridge. Like, this is a big deal. You don't understand.
Can you point at the fridge?
No, because then they'll see him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
But we love you. We love you. We're beaming for you. We're glowing.
I love you guys.
Literally glowing for you. And I'm just excited to see things continue to go up and up and up for you.
Right. I love you, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon. Maybe I'll send you another picture soon.
Yeah. Maybe you guys even end up doing photos together.
That's true. You guys are family, and it's muchly appreciated. It really is.
All right.
Well, we love you so much.
We are excited to see how things continue to progress. I'll let you go, and I guess we will chat soon.
Sounds good, dear.
Thank
All right,
you.
my love.
Love you.
Bye.
All right, bye.
All right, guys, this was fun. I hope you liked it. We had a little bit of tech issues in the beginning, but if you were brave enough to stick it out to the end, maybe drop me a little sunflower emoji down below so I can see the OGs who really persist through, that I appreciate so immensely.
I mean, I heard Emma is in there just glowing.
Emma, Claire, him
Claire.
Obviously as well. I mean, you guys, all of these people work with my mother. A lot of the people that come into our world, they work with my mother. Your mother loves sunflowers. Sunflowers are a good luck omen for me. Go ahead.
My girl, Claire.
Yeah, Claire.
She's still there?
Yeah, she's there.
She's took the leap of faith again. And within less than a week, she has, she has someone working for her that actually has left. And she's like, I now realize they were not a match to my new energetic self. And that's a proof that her self-concept is winning. And she was out the other day getting food, and she was in that line for an hour getting food. And when the person gave her the food, they were like, I hope you enjoy the food. So
Super
she's
cute.
already just having
Killing
all
it.
these wins in less than a week.
Your other girl, I don't know if I can say her name, Jay, also obviously is killing it.
Who?
Give me your phone, I'll type it to you.
Oh, I know.
I mean, there's a lot of people.
yeah.
Mom is winning, exactly. Mom is winning.
If her name is in there, can't we say her name?
No, it's not in there right now.
Oh, okay.
But I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, she's got
Obviously, Emma is killing it.
Her husband back. Is
Yeah.
that the one you're talking about?
No. I'm talking about, I can't tell you right
So
now.
just write it and tell me so I know who you're talking about.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. She got her husband back.
Oh, okay.
She had a date with her husband.
Well, she had many things, but that was one of them.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. She had another one of Mom's clients had, lost her husband.
Yes.
And they ended up separating. And then after a while, he ended up, she healed the patterns within herself that was causing
again.
it. Yeah. And now they're back in a thriving relationship.
Yeah.
Emma also came to us wanting to heal her relationship patterns, working with Mom. And very briefly within like the first, package, and they're doing multiple packages together, because now when you get results, you want to keep them going and you want to expand it and you want to take it to the next level.
She has 5 high-level guys after her.
Like Fortune 500
guys.
Let's drop that. Let's make sure that's in there too.
Exactly. Fortune 500.
What to do?
Oh my goodness.
What to do? It's difficult being over here. It's very difficult.
Yes.
But I hope you guys I'm so excited for you. I'm super, super happy to see everyone winning as much as they are, and just more and more and more is going to continue to come. You know, more and more and more is going to continue to come. If you guys would like to look into coaching with myself or my mother, the type of coaching we both do is very similar. She's going to coach you in the same way I would because she's my mother. We have similar knowledge in that type of situation, but her coaching and my coaching is in the link in my bio, and you have every ability to be able to work with her and or work with myself to be able to get this ship or boat moving in the direction that you really want it to. There is nothing that is impossible for you other than the limitation of your own mind.
I was just going to say that. You bring up a really good point.
Come ready to do the work, because results like these don't happen from people sitting on their hands. I promise you it doesn't. And if that's your expectation that you can just pay a coach and get an outcome, you're not ready for coaching. Very honestly, very respectfully. Okay, I say that with folded hands, not to be a jerk, but to say that these people that get these astounding results didn't just sit on their hands. They came in ready to challenge themselves, ready to put their head down, ready to run their race, ready to call BS on their old stories. They were ready to be challenged. They were ready to be held accountable. They were ready to up level. They knew the up level was possible, but they couldn't lead themselves through it. And everything they had done to lead themselves through it wasn't working. And so they wanted to be able to get somebody who was an expert at this to be able to help walk this path side by side. And if you like the idea of the texting that our guy talked about, that's the unlimited package. So only be looking at the unlimited package in the bio. You'll have two options: unlimited coaching with Persis or unlimited coaching with Persis's trained coaches, which is just a professional way of saying with mom. Okay, so she's in my bio, I'm in the bio. I have two packages. It's either unlimited or it's either the 4 calls, and it will either be unlimited with Persis or unlimited with Persis's trained coaches. It'll either be 4 calls with Persis or 4 calls with Persis's trained coaches. Very easy to explain, very easy to understand. There are payment plans, and you have every ability to be able to get in the door to be able to work with us side by side. We would always recommend the texting over non-texting, but if you feel like you don't really need texting, I'm the first one to say, don't buy it. You know what I mean? But if you feel like that would make a fundamental difference in how quickly you get results, and we do see the texting people quantum leap much faster, then I always recommend having more support than less support if you're going to invest in yourself, because you don't want to under support yourself and then deal with the guilt and like, oh, I'm not shifting fast enough, and oh, I'm having a spiral, and oh, I don't have that help right now, and now I'm regretting it. I would rather, kind of like what Emma said, strongly recommend texting for the first package because it's life-changing. You're always going to have the most resistance in the beginning. You're always going to have the most, there's no time where later on you have more resistance.
Get it from the beginning.
So I would say get it from the beginning and come ready to do the work. Because these people are doing the work and they're showing up for themselves. They're challenging themselves day in and day out. And that's how they create results that don't make sense. And so I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This will be posted onto my YouTube channel, which is linked in my bio. And also, if you guys want to give me a follow over on Instagram, I'm trying to create a free broadcast channel. And I think that that would be really incredible to be able to create, where I get to drop these little daily gems over there. So if you can give me a follow over there, I'm really trying to, how do I say, get to 10K. And so 10K is my new follower goal over on Instagram, so I can make that broadcast channel. Other than that, the link is in the bio for all the coaching. My DMs are open if you have a question after that, but pretty self-explanatory. You just enroll, email us, we get you in for your first call. Very simple.
I'm so proud of all my people.
So proud of all the people coming in. Now I'm going to have to come back with an even stellar one to one up mom.
That's okay. Me and Emma's, we're ready, okay?
Yeah.
We're ready.
Emma wants to do an in-person meetup. We're totally down
Oh,
anytime.
that'd be so nice. Yeah,
We're totally down anytime.
She's not that far away from us.
Oh, that's great then.
Yeah,
We can
she's only
totally do
a few
this.
states away.
We can totally do
Yeah,
this
she
then.
could just come for the weekend.
Yeah, you can just literally, we have a hotel hookup. Why are we not texting about this right now? What are you doing exactly? I'm just kidding.
She's up for her promotion too. at
That's so
work.
fun.
Yeah.
She's up for the promotion. She's got men chasing her.
She's losing a little weight.
She's just, what to do, guys? What to do? What to do?
This is what happens.
This is what happens. This is what happens when you just do this work. But anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I love you so much, and we shall chat soon. Have an amazing weekend, and happy Easter to everybody.